بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أما بعد. Welcome everyone who is here and who is watching. We are continuing, alhamdulillah, our lectures on Hajj and Umrah. And tonight, as we mentioned yesterday, we are getting into the actual course of Hajj, into the actions of Hajj, and that would be entering Mecca. All what we have discussed before were requirements or precautions to be taken care of or to be considered when entering the state of Ihram, prior to and after entering the state of Ihram. And tonight, inshallah, we will get into the actual actions or the course of Hajj. In other words, maybe the descriptions of Hajj. It is this is how it's titled in the books of fiqh, descriptions of Hajj, which starts with entering the city of Mecca. And as we have mentioned, when you enter the city of Mecca, you have to be in the state of Ihram. And we mentioned that sites where you cannot pass, or the places that you cannot pass without having the state of Ihram, and the violations of the Ihram, and all these things that we have covered so far, alhamdulillah. We ask Allah to, inshallah, to make that, increase our knowledge, inshallah. Tonight, inshallah, we get into entering the city of Mecca. As we mentioned, we have mentioned before, there are three types of Hajj. There are three types of Hajj. There is the Hajj of Tamattu. It's one type of Hajj called the Tamattu. The literal translation, literally translated as Tamattu, means enjoyment, but it is not actually. It's not actually what it means. What it's literally translated, it is called Tamattu because you start with Umrah first, and then you finish your Umrah, you finish your Ihram, and then you assume Ihram again for Hajj. This is called Tamattu. There's another kind called Al-Ifrad, meaning you only do Hajj. There's another kind called Al-Qiran, when you do Hajj and Umrah paired together at the same time. So what we're mentioning now, this is something that oftentimes the three types of Hajj would do. Or those who are doing the three types, either one of the three types, will have to go through the course that we are mentioning tonight, inshallah. So entering the city of Mecca, first, it is preferable to enter the city of Mecca from the northern side. It is preferable to enter the city of Mecca from the northern side. And we have noticed preferable means what? Meaning that it is not mandatory. If you enter the city from any other side, of course, inshallah, that's not a violation. It is just preferable because the Prophet ﷺ entered from a gate called Abi Shayba or Bani Shayba. A gate called Bani Shayba. This is when the Prophet ﷺ entered. Of course, this gate exists today, and of course, remodeling has been done. But the gate exists today in a different name. The location almost the same, not the same location. It has moved, of course, to another place, but in the same direction. But of course, it has a totally different shape, and it has also a different name. But it is on the northern side. So it's called the gate the Prophet ﷺ entered from. It's called Banu Shayba or Bani Shayba, and this is preferably, the scholar says, to enter from the same gate that the Prophet ﷺ entered from, if you can manage that, inshallah. So, and as soon as you see the Kaaba, you raise your hand with the dua and say Allahu Akbar, and then you praise Allah Azza wa Jal, and you make dua. When you enter the city of Mecca, now of course the first thing that you will see the Kaaba. As soon as your eyes fall on the Kaaba, then you will raise your hand, say Allahu Akbar, you raise your hand and you make dua. One technicality is here that we just to know down the road, inshallah, we mentioned that the talbiyah, when you say labbaik Allahumma labbaik, starts when you first put on your ihram garment and assume ihram. Then you start making the talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Right. The talbiyah stops if you are making tamattu. If you're making the type of Hajj is called tamattu, it stops. You should be making the talbiyah from the moment you assume the ihram until the moment you see the Kaaba for the first time. That when you stop the talbiyah, if you're doing the type of Hajj at tamattu. If you're doing the type of Hajj at tamattu, you stop making the talbiyah the moment you see the Kaaba. As of the other two types, you continue on doing the talbiyah. You may continue on doing the talbiyah if you're doing the other two types of Hajj. Right. We're gonna come to these details, inshallah, and down the road. But just to know, when you first come and see the Kaaba, now you say Allahu Akbar. You stop making the talbiyah if you're doing tamattu, and you raise your hand and you make dua. Right. The first thing that you do, you do what? When you enter, like the first thing you come to the masjid, what would you do? You pray 2 rak'at. What applies to the Kaaba, the first thing that you do that, circling the Kaaba. Right. This circulation, or this circling, the course of circling the Kaaba for the first time, it could be mandatory for some types, and it could be recommended or sunnah for other types. It is mandatory for those who are doing tamattu, because they are starting with Umrah first. Those who are doing tamattu, they are starting with Umrah first. And the circulation, this first circulation, is called Tawaf al-Umrah, the circulation of Umrah. Circulation of Umrah. So this Tawaf for them, this circulation for this type of Hajj is mandatory. Whereas the other two types, it is recommended. It's called Tawaf al-Qudum, the Tawaf of arrival. It is something that's recommended, but they may skip it if you would like to. If you're not doing the first type, they may totally skip it, but it is preferable to make, like it's preferable to you when you come to the masjid to pray 2 rak'at. It is preferable to them. However, it is mandatory for the ones who are doing the first type of Hajj, which is at-tamattu. So you start with Tawaf al-Umrah. They call it Tawaf al-Umrah. If performing Umrah, if you can see here in the second bullet from the bottom, and then start with the circumambulation of the Umrah. If performing Umrah, or that of the arrival, Tawaf al-Qudum, if he was performing Ifrad or Qiran. If you are performing Ifrad or Qiran, this is called for you Tawaf al-Qudum, or the circulation of the arrival. And it is not mandatory for these two types. However, if you're doing the Umrah, meaning you are doing the Tamattu, the type of Hajj that starts with Umrah first. In this case, this Tawaf will be mandatory for you. The way that you should do the Tawaf, you're wearing the Ihram garment. In this particular Tawaf, there are many other Tawaf, there are many other circulations that will come down the road. 2 more circulations. We'll come to them, inshallah, in the course of Hajj. In this particular one, in this very first one, there is a special thing that you should do when you wear your upper garment of Ihram and when you walk. When you wear your upper garment of the Ihram, you should do something called al-Diba'. What is al-Diba'? You get the upper garment, the upper sheet, and you pass it underneath your right arm. So underneath your right arm, and you put the front end on your left shoulder, and the back end on your left shoulder from the back. In this case, your right shoulder and right arm will be exposed, and the other 2 ends will be on your left shoulder. So your left shoulder will be covered, your right shoulder will be naked, exposed. So this is how the Prophet ﷺ did this particular. He wore the upper garment in this particular fashion, in this particular circulation, and he did the walk, and we're gonna come to how he circled, brisk walking. In the first 3 rounds, he did brisk walking, not slow walking, brisk walking in the first 3 rounds. Why did the Prophet ﷺ did that? The Prophet ﷺ did this when he was doing the first the Umrah of the Hudaybiyah. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ, at one point, he came with the companions to do Umrah, right, in the Hudaybiyah, the year of Hudaybiyah. And then they were stopped by Quraysh, and they had a deal with them that they had to go back and then come the next year to do the Umrah instead of doing it this year. When they went back, they came the next year, there was famine, or actually there was some sort of not a plague, but an infectious disease going on in Medina at that time. And the unbelievers were looking at the Prophet ﷺ and the companions as they allowed them to enter and to do the circulation for the Umrah. They were kind of looking down on them, and they say, those people, you're going to see few weak people, or people have been sick of this plague that was going on in Medina. So they would start making fun of their actual health condition. So the Messenger of Allah ﷺ did expose his right arm in this particular fashion. kind of show some muscles. And he said, رحم الله امرئ أراهم اليوم من نفسه قوة. May Allah have the mercy upon the one who showed some strength to them on this particular day. So the Prophet ﷺ did this, this outfit, and in the description of the Prophet ﷺ, mashallah, he was a very fit person. He was not a person who was actually not fat and not skinny. He was a person who was described as a very fit looking, along with many other companions. Some companions were described as skinny, like Abu Bakr Siddiq. Some companion was described as muscle, like Umar ibn Khattab. The Prophet ﷺ was described as a very fit, and he's also described as his arm was also seemed very strong. So he did this outfit and showed some strength on his end, and he did the brisk walking, that he didn't want to walk slow, just to show them that he has some energy. So although of course the reason of doing this, no one will be looking at you in the same way when you're doing the tawaf, but the scholars unanimously they say it still becomes sunnah in this particular tawaf of arrival. It still becomes sunnah to do it this way. This is called al-diba'. This outfit called al-diba'. You expose your right shoulder and you cover your left shoulder. How you should do the circulation? First, when you start doing the circulation, you start with heading towards the black stone. Heading towards the black stone. Many of the scholars says, make sure if you are far away from the black stone, you go back to the black stone and you start your circulation from that point. And you start from istilam. Istilam meaning that you pass your hand over it and you kiss it. Of course, not a lot of people can manage to do that. Maybe now they can, whoever is there. But before, in the normal circumstance, not a lot of people will do that. The other option is to wipe. So the first option, if you can, wipe your hand over. Wipe the black stone with your hand and then kiss it. The second option, if you can't do that, wipe it with your hand and kiss your hand. The third option is to wave at it. And actually, there's one option that if you have a cane or anything that you have in your hand, you may touch it with it and you may kiss it. And the last option is that you wave at it. That's it. If you're far away from it, do not, you can't get closer. Then you wave at it, and that's how when you start and you face it with your entire body, and make sure you actually directly face it, and then you wave at it, or you touch it or kiss it, depending on how far you are from it. And that's when you start doing the first round of your circulation. When you do the first round, it is counterclockwise. You keep the Kaaba to your left. So Kaaba to your left shoulder, the shoulder that's covered. The shoulder that is covered will be towards the Kaaba, and then make your circulation. Okay. Every time when you make your circulation, when you come to the black stone, you do the same thing. So when you come to the black stone, that means one round is done. You do the same thing, right? There is a dua. There are many ad'iyah and supplication to be said. And of course, when you go for Hajj, you should have these ad'iyahs are ready with you. Or you say Allahu Akbar. One simple thing, you just say Allahu Akbar. And when you pass, there is another corner called Al-Rukn al-Yamani, the Yamani corner. Al-Rukn al-Yamani is one of the corner when you should also wave at it or touch it, but there's no kissing in it. Some scholars say you didn't even need to do that, but some of them have said that you may wave at it or touch it, but now there's no kissing in this Yamani corner. There's 4 corners, of course, to the Kaaba. The Kaaba is a cube, so they'll have 4 corners. There's the black stone corner, الركن اليماني, the Yemeni corner, الركن الشامي, الركن المغربي, the Sham corner, the corner of Sham, and the western or the Moroccan corner was الركن المغربي. So only 2 corners that you need to wave at him or to touch them, which is the Yemeni and the black stone. The only one thing that you need to kiss, which is the black stone. So you make the house on your left side, and you circle the Kaaba. In the first 3 rounds, again, you circle counterclockwise. You circle counter, but you make sure if you don't know what how the clock is run, then make sure the left side, then everything in this world runs counterclockwise. And I think the only one who got it wrong was the one who made the watch. So everything is counterclockwise. The earth and everything runs counterclockwise. So you make the Kaaba to your shoulder, to your left shoulder, and you do 7 rounds. You count the round from the black stone to the black stone. The first 3 rounds you do the brisk walking. The first 3 rounds you do the brisk walking. Okay, brisk walking is walking faster than the average walk, faster than the average in the first 3 rounds. If you miss, brisk walking, and there's nothing that if you miss the first 3 rounds brisk walking, do not make them in the 4th one. You miss them, that's it. And you cannot do the brisk walking if you are closer to the Kaaba, because it's going to be very crowded. So you have an option of getting close to the Kaaba to kiss the black stone. If you do that, you won't be able to do brisk walking. All right, it's an automatic walking. You'll be moved by people. Basically, scholar says doing the brisk walking better than getting closer to the Kaaba. That's what the scholar says. But anyways, if you can do either or, that will be okay. There's a saying between, a special dua to be said between the black stone and the Yemeni corner. Again, between two of the corners of the Kaaba, you say, Allah Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhab an-nar. The famous dua of the Prophet ﷺ, oh Allah, grant us good in this world and good in the hereafter, and protect us from the punishment of the hellfire. You say this dua between the black stone and the Yemeni corner. And also you make whichever other dua you have for yourself or for whomever that you want to make dua for. Finished the 7 rounds. Finished the 7 rounds. That means you have how many times you have touched the black stone? 8. Right? 8, because you start with the black stone and then you do 7 rounds. At the end of the 7th round, that would be you touching the black. So the number of times you touch the black stone should be 8 times, not 7. You're doing 7 rounds, but 8 times you touch the black stone. When you finish, then you go to the station of Ibrahim alayhi salam, the station of Ibrahim, and you do 2 rak'at. If you can, again, all of them will be contingent upon your ability to do that. And you pray 2 rak'at. If you can also do the same thing, touch it. That will also be great. And then the next thing after this is to do a sa'i, which is sa'i ibn Safa, walking between as-Safa wal Marwa. There's one thing that I want to show you here. So this is here the map of the Kaaba and as-Safa wal Marwa. So this is the course of as-Safa wal Marwa. And when you do the circulation of the Kaaba here, when you finish, you pray 2 rak'at behind the station of Ibrahim. And then you go, some scholars says you go again to the black stone, and then you start doing the sa'i between as-Safa and Marwa again. Before you start sa'i between as-Safa and Marwa, you go back to the black stone again and you touch it one more time. Okay. So after finishing the 2 rak'at, behind the station of Ibrahim, then you go for as-Safa. Right. First you go to as-Safa. All right. As-Safa is a mountain. You climb the mountain, you go up the mountain, and then you say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, and make tahleel, la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, and make dua, and then come down from the mountain, go into the course towards the other mountain of Al-Marwa. There are 2 flags down this course. Okay, they are actually today marked by green lights. They are marked by green lights, but there used to be 2 flags. Between these 2 flags, when you should actually do almost not running, I would say you call it running, but a little faster than the brisk walking. They're basically maybe jogging or running between the 2 flags until you go to the other mountain of Al-Marwa, and you go up the mountain and you say the same thing, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, and make dua, and then come down and go to the same course again. So when you should do that 7 times. So going from as-Safa to Al-Marwa, this is 1 time. from a Marwa back to a Safa, this is the second time. You always should start from a Safa. What if you start from a Marwa? If you start from a Marwa, then you will have to go to a Safa, right? In this case, this round will not count because you have to start from a Safa. So if you start from a Safa, go to a Marwa, this is one. If you start from a Marwa, you'll have to go back to a Safa. So you did one round, but this one won't count. Right. Is it clear? Everything is clear? Okay. And then you do that 7 times. Finishing this, you need to, if you're now doing Umrah only, or if you're doing Tamattu, that you're doing Umrah too. If you're doing Tamattu, that you're doing Umrah. In this case, you will have to do what? Shorten your hair and finish your Ihram. You've done with your Umrah. And then you will have to assume Ihram again for Hajj on the 8th of the Hajj. This is for the ones who are doing Tamattu. All right. Whereas the ones who are doing the other 2 types, they will not do that at all. They will not. You will not finish your Ihram now. So if you are doing Tamattu, then you start shortening your hair. Do not shave your hair entirely because you have to leave some hair for the Hajj to shave it at the end of the Hajj. All right, so shorten your hair and then you do some, and then you finish your Ihram if you're doing Tamattu. And if you're doing other types of Hajj, then you do not finish your Ihram now because you will have to wait until the Hajj comes because you're not doing Umrah at this time. You are doing the other 2 types of Hajj, which is Al-Qiran and Al-Ifrad, meaning they're doing Hajj, not the first type of the Tamattu. The last thing here, that the woman is the same as men. Of course, the woman will not do al-diba'. Her ihram garment is not like men, so she of course will definitely not uncover anything of her body, and she will not also doesn't have to walk brisk walking in the tawaf, nor does she have to do jogging or running in the sa'i. Okay. All right, and this is which shows the black stone, as you can see, the black stone here in the corner there, and the station of Ibrahim alayhi salam, and the Yemeni corner. Okay, so in this index you can see the numbers of the codes, the number of the black stone number 1, the Kaaba door number 2, and then you can see the station of Ibrahim and the Yemeni corners and everything that we have went through. Sorry. So this is now 2 very important things in the Hajj and Umrah, which is the circulation of the arrival. That's for the 2 types, Ifrad and Qiran, and circulation of Umrah for the type of a Tamattu. The one who's doing a Tamattu, this is a must do for him. And then when he finishes this Umrah, he finishes Ihram, and he wait again to assume Ihram on the 8th of the Hijjah for Hajj. Whereas the other 2 types will not finish their Ihram because all what they have gone through is part of their Hajj, and therefore their Hajj is not finished yet. It's still actually the more important pillars will be coming. Any questions you have? One other thing is some of the technicalities of the circulations. If you do not finish 7 rounds, it will not count. You have to do 7 full rounds. Okay? If you run backwards, clockwise, it's very unlikely because everyone is, that would be so odd. It will not count. Okay? If you walk in something called Shaduran, this is actually, I'm not sure if anyone would do that, but the edges of the Kaaba, there is a small platform like the one that we have here on the bottom here. What is it called? The wooden thing. Oh yeah, the baseboard of the Kaaba. So in the Kaaba, it's actually now they change it. It's actually someone can manage and walk over it, get over it and walk. If you walk over that, it will not count because this is part of the Kaaba. You're basically not circling the Kaaba, you are on the Kaaba. So it will not count. And then now they make it a decline or incline. So no one can actually be managing to, they change the formation of it. So no one would actually be able to get over it. But if you do that, or if you climb the Kaaba and circle over it, it will not count. You have to be around it, not over it. You have to be in the state of wudu. You have to be in the state of wudu. If you lose your wudu, you will have to make wudu. Circling the Kaaba is a condition, a wudu, a condition of circling the Kaaba, whereas it is not conditioned to do the Safa or Sa'i between Safa or Marwa, by the way. It's good to have wudu, but if you lose your wudu, it is not a condition. According to most of the scholars, between the Safa and Marwa, the wudu is not a condition. However, it is a condition to have wudu in the circulation. If you do not have the intention to do the circulation, you have to have the intention. It is you have to make the intention that you are doing the circulation for Umrah if you're doing the Tamattu, and the circulation of the arrival if you're doing the other two types of Hajj. If you just happen that you were walking with your friend talking about something and you happen that you were circling the Kaaba, you just by not having any intention to do anything and you found yourself, oh, I've done 3 rounds so far, let me finish other 4 rounds. No, you will have to have the intention to do the circulation of whatever that you're doing. And of course, you have to be covered. Your aura must not be exposed. So all these are conditions for the circulation of the Kaaba. And some of them are loosened in the sa'i between the Safa and Marwa because it is not a condition to have wudu. And if part of your aura has been uncovered or exposed, it is also okay. You can cover it, and it will not impact your sa'i. Yes, ma'am.
So for men, the first 3 rounds you're supposed to do it briskly, right?
Yes, brisk walk.
So if you're in the company of women like the elderly women, like my mother or something like that, and it's not convenient for her to, but I have to be with her.
Well, but all these are sunnah. These recommended acts. It was not what's required, as what I just mentioned, is that the wudu, covering the aura, walking in the right direction. Those are the ones that if you violate, that you will have to redo that. If you lose your wudu, or if you walk on the baseboard of the Kaaba, or if you will go the opposite direction, or if you do not finish the 7 rounds, or if your aura has been uncovered. All these are the violations that will have to redo the tawaf. The brisk walking is actually a recommended act, along with al-tiba'. And this is only in this type of tawaf, by the way. In this type of tawaf only, because there are other 2 tawaf circulation will come. We're going to talk about them. In this particular one, this is that when you do the brisk walking in the first 3 rounds, if you miss them in the first 3 rounds, do not do them in the 4th and 5th and 7th. You miss them, you miss them, that's it, in the first 3 rounds. Right. Right. So this is basically here the way that you do the first circulation, mandatory for those who are doing tamattu, recommended for those who are doing the other 2 types of Hajj, and then going for the sa'i between Safa and Marwa. And basically this is how you start doing it. Inshallah, tomorrow we will continue now finishing this, now getting ready to the 8th day of Dhul-Hijjah, which is the actual Hajj procedure starts for the 3 types of Hajj. We're going to talk about this inshallah tomorrow. Tomorrow the halaqah inshallah will be directly after, maybe 15 minutes after Maghrib prayer. We'll not wait until 9:30, inshallah. Any questions? So we're going to stop here inshallah. هذا وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك جزاكم الله خيرا.